Best of 21. It's the World Championship team final. It's game on.
Well, welcome back. Have you caught your breath? What a final we have just seen between France and England. What a performance from France to win the ladies' title. Now it's time to turn our attention to the men's title, and it is Wales versus Northern Ireland. Joining me on commentary for this one is Dom Cooney. And first thoughts on this game, Dom?
Well, it's interesting. We've got a final not involving England, and
First time since only the second time since '06 that's happened.
wow, that's incredible. And it's going to be noisy and be interesting what happens. I feel like it's more important for Wales to get off to a good start than it is for Northern Ireland. Although, having said that, they did come from quite far behind against England this afternoon, so who really knows what we've got in store. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be full of drama.
Yeah, that turnaround from Wales against England was quite incredible. They were staring 7-2 in their face. A poor mistake from Mike King, and all of a sudden it was all square at 7-7, and Wales never looked back. Really was fantastic performance.
And it's worth noting all the Northern Irish lads are sporting fresh haircuts. They've all had fresh trims across the road. They've all been getting a lot of stick on Facebook.
Interesting decision as well. Northern Ireland have decided to change their order up. They've had Declan Brennan and Ryan McCarthy leading them out all tournament long. They know full well that Tom Cousins is going to be number one for Wales. They've sent out young Ryan Marcus. A few things to note there. One, Ryan beat him most recently in the Pro Series, and also the belief they have in Ryan.
Yeah, I have to say I know he beat Tom in the Pro Series. I didn't see a great deal of him as he makes a big error. I was just going to say I've been very impressed with what I have seen of him, and it's been fantastic. But you see there straight away he's made a little bit of a careless error, because that you could sit at home and say he's unlucky to going off in the middle there, but that is a bit of a natural angle on them doubles. You've got to be wary of that.
The other thing with sending Ryan out and leaving, essentially pulling the rest back a slot, is they're sending out a guy they know is more than capable of winning that frame, more than capable of handling the pressure of playing Tom Cousins, but also it's not one of their gun players. So if it does go Tom's way, and that could happen, then it's not like Tom's taking down Declan Brennan, so they'll have Declan going off against somebody else. It's an interesting call. Yeah,
from Wales' point of view, Northern Ireland's perspective, it's probably a bit unfair to Ryan, but they're seeing it as a free hit.
Yeah.
Having a pop at taking a frame off Tom. And that's a brilliant shot there from Tom. He's developed every issue on the table in one shot. He's played the ball off the red and the yellow in the middle to open them up whilst screwing off the cushion into the yellows. That's a great shot. Great vision and great execution. And Wales, as they've done, I'd say probably 95% of their games this week, go 1-0 up through Tom Cousins.
Yeah, he was the leading player in the individual rankings. He tied actually on number of frames won with quite a few players, but he played a lot less frames than any of those players. He didn't play as much against some of the lesser nations unless he was required to in the final set. He sort of took a back seat, let his team control those, and in the big matches he was standing up and went about 80% lick throughout the whole tournament.
I do need to be clear. I said 1-0 to Wales because it's Tom. I am a big advocate of not giving the player the frame until they've got their finish. But the point I'm making is Tom is red hot, and in these situations he's so good. But he'd still be feeling the pressure just as anyone else would. He's human like the rest of us. He'll be feeling a little bit edgy inside, but he's been in the business end of so many big tournaments and finals and pressure situations. It just keeps on going, just gets on with it, and always looks effortless, whether it's frame one of a local tournament or frame one of a world final. Tom does what Tom does.
Yeah, flying at the moment is TC. Another frame on the board for him, having a brilliant tournament within the team game. And he gets Wales off to that 1-0 start like he has done so many times. throughout this championships.
So you see here, Elliot's on the red. He's got it's a bit of a touch shot. He's got a reasonable amount of margin, but some players like to punch these in, and I think Elliot's one of them. So it's probably not the stroke that favours him, but there you see, he really wanted to strike that with a quite a punchy hit on the cue ball, but you need to sort of float them, and someone like Tom, I know he's a bad example because Tom's Tom, but someone like Tom Cousin, Shane Thompson, they've got such like soft hands when they play. It's such an easier shot for them.
There's more signs of Northern Ireland changing their order. Dylan Leary's been playing near the bottom of their squad, playing in the sort of 5th, 6th hole throughout the championships, and he's up to playing second. Northern Ireland have definitely had a big play around with this, as Andy Williams jumps the cue ball off the table.
And he's desperate for some clusters. And of course, with the cue ball going off the table from the break, that means that's ball in hand anywhere, not just behind the bulk line as it would be if he just potted the cue ball off the break. So we see one problem red for Decky, which is this red that he's looking at now. He'd love to be able to play it, but Andy might have, I don't want to say got away with it, but he's left it quite awkward. Because he can't actually place the cue ball where he can deal with that red right away, but what he can do, as you can see, he can leave himself in a position where he can bump that red open first shot. Guaranteed, of course, to be on the red to the top right as we look.
I thought Declan might be cleverer than that and look to play that one cushion first to get the half ball flick on the red. Cue ball stays in the middle of the table and he's on the red bottom left. Because he had cue ball in hand, he could give himself that exact angle.
Yeah, possibly, and maybe he played it quite a bit harder than he either wanted to or needed to. But it's interesting, the likes of, obviously Tom made it look easy, but Declan and players that won big tournaments, it's interesting to know how they'd be feeling in these situations, because Declan will be aware he's one of the big hitters for Northern Ireland, and they sort of expect him to turn up in these big moments. So will he be feeling the extra pressure because of that, or will it give him that extra confidence?
I think he's, speaking to him and watching him and commentating on watching him win the Masters this week, I think he's just playing with such an exceptional level of confidence at the moment and belief in what he's doing that he's barely missed a ball the whole championship long. It's a brilliant performance to knock him out of the Worlds.
That's right, and as you mentioned, winning the Masters would just add to that. Oh! So Elliot's got to play a clever shot here. I don't think he can make, certainly it's very difficult to make the red and yellow combination shot, but what he can do is he can play the red onto the yellow, pop the yellow and leave the cue ball somewhere between the bulk line and the right centre pocket on that cushion, which will snooker Dylan on the yellow. But he's got to be careful, because if for me, he might be going a bit too low on the cue ball. Oh, well, he's
perfect.
Got the line perfect.
Great shot.
And it's a good job he got the line so good, because I didn't think he wanted to come that far off the cushion, but as it is, it's a fantastic shot, and he's left Dylan in a spot above her. With getting the cue ball that close to the 8 ball, what that does do, it does almost guarantee Dylan will get some sort of good connection on the yellow. Where it goes, well, nobody knows. Not sure if the 8 ball goes in the middle. Will Declan have to screw underneath the yellow and black on the left hand as we look?
Could just stun it in and take it long, the way that Declan plays, but looks like he's got a little bit of angle.
That's a great shot. Really good touch. Just shows how sharp he is at the moment, and played that to perfection.
Never looked in doubt. And I'm assuming that Dylan's made his shot as well on the right-hand side. We missed that. We're seeing Declan's frame being won. He did. He made it from the cushion. Huge moments there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's 2-1.
But I don't want to be too critical of Elliott there because he got the snooker. However, had he have got the snooker and left the cue ball closer to that side cushion up by the bulk line, he makes it very, very, very difficult for Dylan to even hit the ball, let alone have a chance of making it. And I did say before Dylan played this shot, he's guaranteed a good connection on the yellow, more or less.
And you give a good player like Dylan the chance to sort of almost pick his line off one cushion. You know he's going to get it close.
Yeah, that's right. That's such a big swing, even this early on in momentum.
Very sharp looking Ronan McCarthy out there for Northern Ireland.
Yeah, his trip to the beauty salons took about 15 years off him, I think.
Certainly helped his break there. Look at that. Brilliant break from Ronan. Daniel Bishop with a break for Wales, and he's going to make a ball as well, and he's going to get a good chance.
So I think it's going to be reds for Ronan. Slight bit of work to do. Those two reds in the centre of the table, I think they're actually causing him a little bit of an issue because they only really pot to this bottom left, but the yellow's in the way. So he's, as you see there, I don't know if he's got there. He tried to just get a bit further across just to graze these two reds, but he might have the angle. I can't quite tell. There you see he did, and he's opened the reds up, so it's now a good opportunity. He'd like to get somewhere like straight onto the red to the left middle, which would have left him on the red above the 8 ball. So we see a missed double on the other table. Gary Clark comes to the table on yellows, I think, or is it open table? I'm not too sure.
I think he is on yellows. I was watching Ronan's frame, but I'm pretty sure he's on yellows on that one.
So it's a little tiny bit of work to do for Ronan. He's going to pot the red that he's straight on, and he's going to try and get on the red below the 8 ball to leave himself the angle to float down for the other red to the right centre. He's pretty much perfect here. This shot more or less takes care of itself because it's a natural line. You see where he's pointing his cue. The cue ball will come off the cushion in between the 8 ball and the red.
Just left a little bit too much angle in this one to the right centre.
Yeah, if anything, he might have to come off the top and side cushion here. I don't know if he can hold, or he could... Yeah, you see he's played that top cushion, side cushion perfectly. Slightly awkward cueing, but you don't expect any issues for someone who's been there and done it for the last, I don't know how many years.
Lovely break clearance from Ronan McCarthy to make it 3 on the trot, 3-1 now to Northern Ireland.
So he's had a little bit of help off the yellow there. It's actually landed him in a okay position, I think. So that cannon there has helped him as well, because he can now actually play the Reddy's cannon to the top left and land on... I think he preferred to be on the red directly below the 8 ball, but either of them two is fine.
More change around in the Northern Irish order. They've had Ronan playing in the 7th hole, or 8th hole in the shootout, but 7th hole in the team championships. He goes out in 6th.
Oh, he's just thrown one in there. See, he sort of jabbed it. That was similar to the shot Elliot Coombe had. It just needed a nice, smooth, soft stroke. But they're the shots that can catch you out when you're under extreme pressure, because you feel a bit jittery and... So all of a sudden this match could just be getting taken away from the Welsh side. Gary with a little bit of work to do here, but he'll be looking to get more or less straight on the right hand side cushion as we look, after potting this yellow into the top left corner.
Disappointing miss by Ronan Fay.
Yeah, because that is like these couple of frames from Northern Ireland's perspective, they'd be thinking this is the time to really turn the screw. And
It always feels like that in the team games. When you've got the momentum, you need to really ride it and sort of take it as far as you absolutely can.
But so often you see teams just, I don't know what it is, it's just team pool where it happens. They just, very often teams can't seem to kick on, and it's almost like the drama's guaranteed regardless of what happens.
Oh, Jonathan Coleman with a chance on the left for Wales. As Gary misses on the right.
Yeah, it's amazing what you see in these team scenarios. So we see a brilliant pot from the Welsh team on the right hand side. He's just got to make sure he gets out for the 8 ball, and he has. He'll be delighted with that after the ball that he missed a couple of shots ago. But there you see, it looked like for all the world we were going 5-1 to Northern Ireland, but Wales have a chance to
get it back all
to
squared
level
up.
Yeah.
Daniel Bishop with the latest victory.
As we see here, this yellow, he wants to land low on the yellow, but he doesn't want to go too far, so he could actually use the red to help him get where he needs. As you see there, he's potted it off the red.
Oh, and the red then gets in the way.
So I think he needs to probably play the cross double on this yellow by the breaking line into that top right pocket, avoid the double kiss, and float down for the yellow into the bottom right. This is very close to a double kiss. I'm not sure if he'll completely be able to avoid it, to be honest. And he has. What a shot this is.
What a shot this is.
Oh. You could not have placed that better with your hand. What a shot that is in this final.
Jonathan Coleman, take a bow. That was amazing.
If that doesn't get these Welsh boys bang up for it, then nothing will. What a shot under that pressure. Oh, what's he done here?
I thought he was just going to drop it in and take it right centre.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was dropping that in all day long, but
It's come out okay. He's just travelled far enough
Just
to be
gotta
on this
hold
8
himself
ball.
together. It's one of them little scenarios though when you feel like you probably should be a lot better on the ball. It makes it harder. Brilliant shot. Really good stuff. So all of a sudden, as we mentioned a few moments ago, Northern Ireland were in a position to really open up a gap to go 5-1, and they find themselves 3-3.
Yeah, big turnaround. A couple of frames on the top. That can happen quickly in these team games with 2 frames going on at the same time. So the 7th frame in this match, Zach Shepherd taking on Rab McCulloch.
That's a good shot from Zach as well. Always got something to moan about as Zach.
Yeah, I saw via social media he was retiring from the game earlier on this week, but he has actually gone really well in the team event this year. He was the leading player, other than Tom Cousins, obviously, for Wales.
Yeah, he does love playing for his country, does Zach.
Going at a very good rate.
Switch of hands, along with a switch of cue, because he's not using his own cue. I'm not sure how accessible this yellow is to the right centre by the red.
Declan Brennan goes out first up in the second session where players can be switched around.
And he's absolutely drained that break. It's definitely a break he's been working on. I commentated on one of his matches at the Pro Series, and it was the first time I noticed him breaking from that spot on the table, and he wasn't quite getting it right, but a few weeks on you can see he's really got that nailed on, and he's played a big part in his winning the Masters. He broke brilliant in that final. So Zach tried to make a red off the yellow there, but what he has done is made a bit of work on this bottom right cushion. He's tied the 2 reds up. They will plant, but you need to get in a good spot to take them on. Declan would love to have a yellow to go at here. He might take the thing cut back and take his medicine on where the cue ball goes, and just he's going into the red, so that'll kill a lot of the pace on the cue ball. And there you see here is a full ball contact.
Very good from Declan Brennan. Rab just caught the jaws when he played his last positional shot, so that's why he's had to pull back and go safe.
Yeah, I think that was the right decision, really, because it is, at this stage of the match, the right percentage play. But he might have left Zach a little window here to get through the 2 reds and hit the yellow into the other yellow and maybe make it in the right centre. Can he get there directly without having to use the cushion? Yeah, I think he could, but he just jumped up a little bit off the shot. So he gives Rab a pretty good chance here. Just a shade too far for Decky. He's still fine, but I think he might just be glancing the red, which he didn't really want to go anywhere near. But I think it's only a... He might even be able to just nip it past. As you see there, he did. So it's important for this shot for Declan. When he puts the ball in the top left, he's going to want the cue ball to come. It will come off one cushion. But it's more important he gets the line than get so close. Because once you get the line, the next shot becomes easier. And you see he's got the line perfect there. It's a good shot from Rab. He's just going to play a little touch cannon on this yellow. He's just going to sit on it.
Beautiful shot from Rab, really was. at the same time as Declan gets himself on the 8 ball.
Yeah, it's a good response to Northern Ireland from Northern Ireland to what the Welsh threw at them the last couple of frames. For a very young looking Declan Brennan.
Just like that, 2 frames on the spin for Northern Ireland, get themselves back 2 in front. Declan Brennan with the break clearance means that the big gun player for Wales doesn't even touch the table. I wonder if that's something that Wales could have looked at. I suppose they have to play, they're the home side, so if they have TC out number 1 in the first set, he has to be number 1 in the second set.
Yeah, I think from certainly from Wales' perspective that Tom is their standout player. Northern Ireland are fortunate enough to have a couple in Declan and Ronan, but obviously they've got both teams got a lot of good players as well. But I think if I was in charge of the Wales team selection, you want to make sure that Tom's getting the frames. You don't want him to come into like his last frame of the match and they're chasing the lead or something like that. You want to make sure he's had his impact on the match as early as can. What a break we see there from Ryan Marcus, and these yellows look quite nice. Got one slightly tricky one on the right hand side of the 8 ball as we look. Decent shot from Elliott. Give himself a good opportunity on reds. Got a couple of choices here. He can go up the table for those 2 reds up by the yellow, or he can opt a little touch onto the 8 ball and clear both reds to this bottom corner before he works his way up. So Elliott did choose to go up the table for the red balls by the yellow. I expect him... He could play a little clever shot here if he wanted. He could pop the red to the right centre. He's still opting to take the one down here. Oh, he's had a result there. Blimey. I was going to say he could have played the red into the right centre and just held off that yellow that he just moved, which would have opened it up into that pocket. And the red he just potted would have been his last ball, but he's more than happy with that. He might screw back into the 8 ball here just to guarantee position. Except to stun across the face. So he's just got to get this shot right. I think if he plays the one that he's queuing up now, he guarantees a clear path for queuing. As you see, there's no obstacles now. He can just concentrate on hitting the ball good.
Just wonder if he's left the right angle to get out for the 8 ball into the right centre. Looks like he's gone. The natural's taken him towards the 8 ball, so maybe he has to take it long.
Yeah, he might be able to just use. He's gone on off the rail there. He had a couple of options. He could have floated that in for the ball black in the bottom left, or thought he could have drew into that yellow on the right hand side cushion. But this is a bit slightly missable. He's got it.
Very good from Elliott, especially considering the chance he let go in the first frame he played.
Yeah, they're showing a lot of heart and belief of the Welsh team. They've been backs against the wall quite a lot so far in this event, and even in this final. And they keep coming out fighting. Not quite sure what the hold up is on
I think
the
there
second table.
might be an issue with the clock. We've had a few issues with the clock throughout the championships, and maybe that's the case here. But gives us a chance to take a breather here, and Northern Ireland 5-4 in front, but very evenly poised.
Richard Gifford has broke off on the other table. You can see made a red and yellow on the break, and both sets are quite nice. You'll probably
Back underway on the right. We're underway on the left as well. Richard Gifford with the break. Now we have a hold up on the left. All sorted now. Ryan Marcus has got a good chance here. A little bit awkward on the right.
I don't think that's the best of shots from Richard Gifford. He's going to be able to pot the red in the middle, but these three reds on the right hand side, he wanted to be straight on one of them to the middle to run through for the red that's directly below that yellow on the right hand side pocket. So now I think he's got to play a cannon, which he probably didn't want to play. He has played it well. Kind of needs to be on that ball now, really. I think he is. I think he's okay.
Tough yellow coming up for Ryan.
Yeah, it looked from the break off, it was always going to be this yellow for Ryan was the issue.
I feel like on commentary week in, week out with Ultimate Pool, I'm forever saying that these are tough shots in the middle, and you guys just drop them in like they're nothing. But from a player's perspective, this is tough.
Yeah, they really are horrible. You don't. I know the players make them look quite easy, but yeah, you don't really want these under pressure because they are as difficult as they come. And he's got to inject a bit of pace on the cue ball here as well. You see, drag that in.
Brilliant shot. Sacrifice position a little bit, but drops it in.
Does, for me, show he's got a sensible head on his shoulders. Still a young lad, and as I say, I've not seen massive amounts, but what I have seen, I've been very, very impressed by, and very sensible just to be aware of the situation, make sure you've got a shot.
Oh, what a moment for Northern Ireland. Ryan Marcus makes the 8-ball. Rich Gifford misses his last ball. 2 in front, and Northern Ireland are favourites in the frame on the left as well.
Yeah, and they've got Lethal Leary at the table, very, very experienced. Been playing Q Sports probably for longer than I've been alive. If this, I'm assuming this yellow directly to the right hand side of the 8-ball does pass the red, because if it didn't, he probably would have took it now. But assuming that it does go, it will be his last ball. See Ronan Fay breaking off for the Northern Irish team. He's hit a good break there. Quite a bit of work to do, it looks. Dylan's played a good shot there. He's got himself in a nice angle just to soft screw across for the yellow in the bottom right corner, and that's pretty perfect. So we've been here before, but it looks as if Northern Ireland are opening up a little gap.
Three frames in front for Northern Ireland. Great counter clearance from Dylan Leary. Never really looked in doubt following the mistake from Rich Gifford. And they have got a bit of a mountain to climb here. 3 frames behind. It's first to 11 here. So fast the winning line is approaching.
I'm not sure, we can't tell from here, but the red that Ronan's just cannoned, does it pass into the corner pocket? It seems to be getting on with things quite swiftly, so we have to assume it does. And the way he's played that tells us it does go. Now he's got a bit of work to do. He's got this red above the 8 ball. I'm not sure if it passes into the bottom left as we look between the yellow and the black. I don't think it does. He's looking at... He might be able to pot it from where he put his cue there just a minute ago. It's keeping us guessing. He's looking at all the options. So that tells us it goes. So it's going to be a big shot here. That's a great break.
Yeah, lovely stuff from Jonathan Coleman.
It's
As good as that break was, look at the cluster in the middle.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
It's
it
like
was great contact and good cue ball, but they've just...
they sort of soft opened up and all moved to the middle of the table rather than the triangle area. It was kind of a strange...
But he has got a nice shot here. If you can pot this red into the bottom left, it's almost like a snooker shot, black into the pack. If he can hit that yellow, not the one on the left-hand side on the way in, but the one right above the black spot. That's a good... I think that's a great shot from Ronan. I'm not sure if he's on that plant, just thinking of body language. He might be disappointed because he might have to slightly turn it in. Oh, he's missed the red as he's gone into the pack. And that opened everything up. Because I believe all these reds pot. I'll tell you what, that's a brilliant shot from Ronan. He deserves not to be queuing. That's so unlucky.
Couldn't finish much worse and still see this red. That is horrible. Deserved better for the quality of that shot.
Yeah, it's very clever to... He's played the red into the cushion to make the plant and controlled the cue ball and knew that the red was coming across this way. This is tough striking down, and there is a good chance he may go in off here, just because when you're hitting down you tend to hit the ball that bit harder. I think the natural does avoid the in off, but you see that's how soft he played it. He was definitely aware of the in off possibility. So there's a big couple of frames here again.
Yeah, big chance for Wales to win on the right. Daniel Bishop with a counter clearance opportunity.
He's played the safe cue ball, which is a sensible shot, because it was kind of a half-hearted attempt at the pot, but the key was a cue ball there. And
yeah, it's quite actually better for him just to have that one over the pocket and connects to the one on the bottom cushion.
yeah, that's exactly right. If he does get ball in hand, it's he can play the ball on the right-hand cushion as a free shot and bring the cue ball across, and then he's got a natural connecting balls, and every shot he'd play from then on out for the finish would mean no real pressure, because he can't leave the red ball.
It's gone wrong on the left. And it will be cue ball in hand for Daniel Bishop on the right. He just needs to steady himself, get this frame on the board for Wales.
And the yellow's gone horrible for Northern Ireland on the left table, so we find ourselves once again in a position what looks like, certainly at this point, Wales are favourite for the 2 frames. I think the yellow on the left hand table, the yellow does go to the bottom right pocket, but I mean, as you can see, all the balls where they're positioned, how on earth are you meant to find a route to get down there? Daniel Bishop here on the right, he'll leave the 2 balls in the bottom left corner till last, which is just okay there. I think he played for that in the middle, but he'd be delighted with that because that's perfect. It's important he gets straight on the yellow to the bottom left corner, because you don't want to be high on the last yellow where you sort of flick the red. Oh, he's missed it.
He's missed that by a distance. That was a very nervy one.
Yeah, what he has done is he's left Ronan. If he wanted to attack, he has got a shot. That's a good shot from Rab there on the left-hand table. It's certainly the right shot. If he was to attack there, he's more or less digging his own grave. But he's played the right shot to give himself another go, and I expect Ronan will do the same here. He'll just tickle the cue one behind the yellow. Yeah, he didn't want to. He caught the yellow on the way in. He just wanted. I think he double kissed the red. He just wanted to go right behind the yellow, because what he has done, he's left Bishop the chance to glance off the yellow on the left-hand side cushion and get the cube up the table.
What a result for Jonathan Coleman.
Yeah, that's. You couldn't ask for a better result there, I don't think.
You're just trying not to foul, but this has come out like a perfect result for him, really.
You don't want to try and be, yes, sensible. However, you would have liked to have gone a bit further up the table, but you didn't need to go too far. So he's going to go 2 cushions to try and pot this red. And the yellow that is to the right of the red as we look is actually a bit of a guide for him, because he knows if he misses that yellow on the way in, you see where his cue's pointing there, he knows he'll go very close to making the red.
Just while looking at the table on the right, on the left, they're checking to see whether the red hit the cushion or not. Unless it's touching the cushion, I don't think it reached the cushion.
If they've got the camera angle we've got, I'm not sure they'll be able to tell.
No.
Being able to see the edge of the red from sort of the bulk cushion, because it forces him to move it away from the yellows. This way he can, off a couple of cushions, just push the yellow towards the side cushion and contain him again a little bit. But if he gets the... No, he's fouled there.
Got that one all wrong. Daniel Bishop now has the chance to go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's fine, but if that yellow and red are touching, does the yellow go? But I'm 99% sure it does. And it does, because he's got no issues here, so he's played that perfect.
So it is cue ball in hand on the left-hand side.
I think he's going to...
Oh, wow. What's happened there?
Wow, I didn't even look what happened there. Did he just miss that?
I think he's just missed it. Just a really poor miss from Daniel Bishop.
Before that happened, I was just going to say, I think on the left-hand table he's going to attack here, but I think because he had cue ball in hand, he could have played one more safety shot. The red that he's almost touching now, he could have just pushed that out, left him glued on the yellow, next time he comes to the table, he's going to have a really gettable finish. I think Ronan's playing a loss of turn on the right-hand side and just going to try and get a awkward... No, he thought it went. That's quite unlucky. It's a really good effort. So Bishop will be over the moon to get away with this one if he just rolls the yellow in, which he has. And in a strange way, them frames, when you both have a couple of goes, they mean a lot more than if, say, Bishop just cleared up in one visit there.
Yeah, get away with it. Yeah, sort of almost carries more weight when that happens. Back within 2.
It's great when it gets to these situations. Every frame seems nitty-gritty and that added tension and drama. Spun it too much, has he? Oh, was that okay?
I think that was fine. Just flicked it, then hit the cushion, flicked it again.
So I think you're going to see him just roll up to the red ball here, just dead weight. Although he can pot the ball to the left centre, I think. This is one of them situations. Do you need to attack here? It might be easier than it looks on our screen. That's a big break.
Oh, it's gone wrong.
At first glance, it's gone wrong, but I don't think it's... Well, he's got to make the plan. There'll be a bit of pressure on it. What he can do, he can roll up to the bottom red of the 2 and just leave the cue ball where that red is, as long as he blocks the back double. But I think he's taking the plant on. Gary's got a chance on reds on the right hand side. Is that the right score? 7-5?
7-5, yeah.
So he's got a couple of options. It's either yellow to the corner to leave the yellow into the middle to drop on the 8 ball to either middle, or he could play the yellow to the left centre and bump the 8 ball out, but he's done the right thing there, I think.
Looks perfect just to drop it in.
That's a great shot from Gary. If he's on that red to the left centre, which he is, this looks like 9-5 to Northern Ireland incoming. If Gary's on the red to the left centre, it's routine. If he's not, he has to run the cue ball off a couple of cushions.
Brad McCulloch gets the frame on the board, back to 3 in front for Northern Ireland. They're 3 away from the title.
You see, he's top cushion and side cushion. Needs that to pull up.
Just tell when he stopped in his tracks. He was nervous for a moment.
I think he was unsure if this red goes, is why he was nervous, but I think he's on it. If he's fine. No dramas, that's 9-5 to Northern Ireland. A couple of frames that... A bit of an opportunity slipped away from Wales in these last few frames.
Yeah, they definitely had chances in those couple of frames and really tightened things up.
But we've seen how quickly things can change.
Nine, 5. Gary Clark comes up big. I think he enjoyed that one, Tom.
Yeah, certainly did, and you see a lot of that in these team events. People thoroughly enjoy winning their frames.
Oh, wow. Really tough in off for Tom Cousins.
That is brutal, because you'd have expected Tom to do what he's been doing all week and just knocking in finishes. Bit of work for Dylan. The key here is if the little cluster of the 8 ball and the 2 yellows, if the yellow to the right of the 8 ball goes in the right hand centre, it's a pretty routine finish for Dylan because he'll go right centre now. In fact, the yellow I'm talking about, he's on it now, I think, into the bottom left corner. He's just come around to have a look. So you see Declan with the break that he's worked so hard on. You can see he's killing that cue ball all the time. So I think Dylan's going to pop the yellow to the top left and stun down to around the blue spot and play the yellow that's on the 8 ball into the bottom left, which leaves him on the yellow to the left centre. He's got to the same position, but he played it off 1 cushion. So this is actually, for Dylan, it's actually a routine finish really. He's just got to make sure of this part and he's more or less home. This is the key shot. It looks like he's stunning off side cushion rather than floating it in, but which he has done. Just slightly short of position for Dylan, but there shouldn't be any issues. See Declan with lovely looking position for, well, this is for the win. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, well, not out of nowhere, but
it just happens quickly over 2 tables, doesn't it? Just a quick swing.
He wants to be off the rail. Oh, is he on that? I think he is.
Every frame that Declan Brennan's got to the table in the knockout stages, he is cleared up from the break, and he's got a chance to do it for the win if Dylan Leary makes this 8 ball, which he should. We saw last year things fell into place for Ronan. It was written for him that he would go on that incredible run, and it looks as if it's written in the stars once again for the Northern Irish boys, where Declan's going to add to his Masters success with the winning frame to complete. Dylan Leary takes us to 10-5.
The World Championship double for Northern Ireland, the
yeah.
shootout and the men's team. Incredible achievement.
8 ball away here for the Northern Irish.
And Declan knows. He knows he doesn't miss these, and he knows this is the moment to write their names in history.
And they have done it. Northern Ireland are the world team champions. They set their stall out a few years ago to build a squad to get this title. They have now got it on. Runners up last year. This year they are the champions.
And just look what it means to them. They're loving every moment of this, and fair play to them. They fully deserve it. They've been the best team, and they're only going to get stronger.
They really have, though, haven't they? They've built their team, they've built their squad, they've delivered, they've turned up here, and you know, whilst there was still a lot of attention on England, they finished second in the group stages, but they never stopped believing. They win the shootout for the 2nd year in a row, and then they get their hands on this big prize.
Do we have a new dominant force in international pool?
They've certainly got the squad to keep delivering this, and they're going to enjoy this moment. Amazing scenes here in Agadir. Let's send it down to Stephen Jameson and the presentation.
All right, welcome back inside the arena for the presentations. What a fantastic final this was. Both nations achieved so much on their run to this occasion. Let's put our hands together inside the arena for both finalists. What a great match between Wales and Northern Ireland. not to be for Wales, but they've put together a historic tournament that they can be very, very proud of indeed. Let's hear it for your runners-up. They are Wales. Andy, hard lines, mate. It's obviously never easy to lose a final, but how much can you take from this tournament in reaching this stage with a group that I know you've become very, very close to?
Yeah, definitely. It's been an amazing week. All the boys have done us proud, and it's fair play to Northern Ireland. They played awesome tonight and just took their chances and showed the class that they are.
How much have you guys enjoyed this week all the same? Because you've had such a strong team spirit. We've seen that all week long. You've pulled off some amazing victories, most notably, of course, that semi-final win lived long in the memory, I imagine.
Yeah, the England game, it's always nice to get one back on them. They've done us a few times, so yeah, it was nice this afternoon. Obviously gutted now, but yeah, we've had a great team spirit all the way through, and just a class bunch of lads. So
you've had a great tournament, mate. Wish you all the very best of luck for next year. Well played. Wales, everyone. As for our winners, they have done the double in Agadir. Last year's runner-up are this year's champions. It's Northern Ireland. Ronan, how good does that sound?
It's just brilliant, completely brilliant. The boys, and they completely deserve it. They've been brilliant this past 10 days or whatever. They've been brilliant. And fair play to Wales. They're a great team and a good bunch of lads, and hopefully they come back next year stronger and bigger and better.
Yeah, here. It was a fantastic tournament. You came in as one of the favourites. You knew what you had to do. But the performance level from you boys in the last 10 days has been what's really stood out. It's not necessarily been about finding the nitty-gritty. The level has been phenomenal.
Yeah, well, I think we started off slow. We lost a few matches in the group stage that we probably should have won. But as the competition progressed, and obviously getting beaten in the final last year, we learned from it, and we knew this year we had to be better. And I think the last 4 or 5 matches we've been brilliant, yeah.
Not a bad couple of years for the team. You won the shootout last year, obviously all your heroics. Decky wins the Masters this year, the shootout and the team. It's a pretty solid group.
Yeah, just the doubles to go, and I think apart from the singles, we've more or less won everything. So just a great bunch of lads, and I've been with them this past 10 days, and every one of them, there's 10 of us here, and they're just different class, a lot of them.
With that being said, you've got some old stagers. You've also got some young hands for the first time at the wheel. How impressed have you been with how the young'uns have stepped up?
Yeah, well, there's me and Dylan. We sort of need wheelchairs soon, but we've got Ryan and James and the boys coming in. That great players to take our places. So no, the future's bright for Northern Ireland pool.
I want to ask you as a personal question. You've obviously won everything there is, but you've not won the world title with Northern Ireland. How does this feeling compare?
It's just the icing on the cake, especially with such a great bunch of lads. Like I say, they've just been different class all week, so brilliant, yeah.
We're going to let you have your magic moment, boys. Enjoy it. Let's bring in the president of the WPF, Joe Fanso, to make the presentations. Your 2023 World Team Champions. They are Northern Ireland. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for your finalists, Wales, and your champions, Northern Ireland. Thank you for joining us inside the arena and on the coverage tonight. It's been a pleasure to have your company. We'll leave you with these brilliant images of the Northern Irish boys enjoying their celebrations. Have a very good night, and we'll see you in the morning. It's time for the singles and the doubles. Until then.